What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? I wanted to dive into a topic off the bat, and that is the idea of, I don't know if it's toughness or discipline and where this falls under, but I get a lot of people that think that, I'll just relate it to training off the bat, and we'll kind of dive into other things, that we need to train as hard as we can, because if we train as hard as we can or do something, for this case, one-time effort as hard as we can will get the best results. And this is, I think you guys know the answer to this. This really isn't true. But it's a theme that carries beyond just that of strength and conditioning or performance and fitness. It's the idea that the hard thing to do isn't doing something difficult one time, but it's doing something at an acceptable level over and over and over and over again, especially when there are minimal rewards the first 100 times, say, you do that, moderately acceptable thing. For example, with training, well, I don't need to go to complete failure on every single set until I'm completely exhausted. That's probably not even a good idea in the first place. But the difficult thing about training is showing up and having a good workout, moderately acceptable workout, for 4 months straight. That's difficult. And the reason why is because the reward is a delayed response. You don't have immediate aesthetic rewards. You might get some strength gains initially, but even those are hard to come by. And it's a valuable lesson for something beyond just that of strength and conditioning. Again, maybe it's a podcast you want to start. Maybe it is social media, a business, YouTube. I don't care, going to school, trying to learn about a subject. The first stages are the least rewarding stages when it comes to perception. Now, perception and what we like to perceive, and I'll give it a caveat, public perception, that is what most people assume should happen, right? I think most people do these kind of things and they stop while doing these kind of things, whether that's a podcast, a video, content, because they ultimately don't see any monetary gain or any immediate following, and they go, well, that's not very productive for me, so I'm going to stop. But really, what you do need to realize, just like in training, it's not the one workout that's going to make the gains. It's the accumulated workouts. And sometimes you don't realize you've made gains until you look at a video of yourself a year ago and you realize, oh, I am a lot bigger, I'm a lot stronger. Because what happens is I should say more times than not, it seems to be, especially for myself, I'm in the same category, I am no different, that I relate my progress relative to the day before. And I go, well, I'm not much better than I was yesterday. And yesterday was not much better than the day before that. So what kind of progress am I actually making? And that is a mindset that leads you down the path of, stopping what you're doing. But really, you should understand the completion of a task itself is progress in of itself. It is doing something that, you hadn't done before. And if we assume that every time we do something, there's a probability that there is some associated success that comes with it. For example, every time I make a video, there is a probability that maybe it catches 1 or 2 more followers or listeners. Well, then I need to continue to make more videos because that's increasing the sheer probability of success. So progress isn't always in terms of how many immediate followers that I get, how many things I sell. Am I learning the most about a certain topic? It is about, are you increasing the probability of you being actually successful in that? So when it comes to learning, for example, let's take learning a language. When you first start off, if it's a secondary language, it's going to be less than your capacity to speak your primary language. For example, if I'm learning Spanish, I'm not going to be as good at Spanish as I am at, speaking English. Well, in that case, I am going to be judging my proficiency of Spanish against, my ability to speak English. And off the bat, it's going to be very boring. Learn the alphabet, learn how the structure of sentences work. And then eventually I'll get to a point where I can form very rudimentary sentences and have very, low-level conversation. And that is the nature of it. But the honest thing is that you look at that and you go, I'm not making any progress because I'm still not able to speak at the level that I can, in English. And then you need to realize, well, you're obviously your primary language, you have a little more exposure to it, but you have made lots of progress. But we cannot just assume, or I guess our perception of progress needs to be sometimes modified in order for us to continue down a path of being consistent. Because the hardest thing is consistency in the presence or in the perception of minimal progress. Consistency without progress can drive someone, well, crazy. Why I keep doing this if I'm making no gains? So we can do one of two things. We can either try and find a way to make more progress, which is very difficult. If someone's found that solution where they can just work extremely hard in a couple of days and make a lot of progress, let me know. But that's probably not going to be the case. So the other way we can get around this is to change our mindset so that we start to think about progress differently. We perceive progress not by what we think progress should be, having lots of followers, but by just the completion of the task itself. And so when it comes to training and fitness, it's not just progress in terms of my aesthetics, my bench press, my squat, my ability to run fast and jump high, but your ability to actually do the things that will lead to the greater likelihood of you achieving those goals. So coming in consistently. So I'm not sure if this falls under what category is this? Mental toughness, discipline? Is there really a true differentiation between the two? But it's something that has personally helped me. It's the idea or the mindset shift of how we ourselves perceive, progress. And then in turn, if we can validate our progress or objectify it in a different way, then we can stay motivated to do things which otherwise seem, like they're yielding no progress at all. So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that's helpful for some people out there. It was helpful to me when I first kind of learned about this concept, and it's something I wanted to pass on because maybe you will benefit from it too. So you guys have any comments or questions, let me know. Feel free to subscribe or do whatever you do on this YouTube world. Comment, share, I don't care. Whatever you want to do. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I appreciate you all listening.